Allow me to introduce myself. I am Judge Simmons. We're here for a simple bond court arraignment. Today's date is Saturday, September 12th, 2020, and the exact time is 9:39 p.m. Once again, we're here for a simple bond court arraignment. I'm not here to try you in any way on whether or not you're innocent or guilty. I'm just here to inform you of your charges, your bond amounts, and your rights. You do have the right to remain silent. You do have that right to a trial by jury. You do have that right to have an attorney present if you cannot afford one. Mr. Plowden, because you are being charged with several general session charges, I will not be able to basically offer you that right to a public defender. What will happen, there will be someone coming from the solicitor's office that will pay you a visit and ask you if you would like to exercise that right to a public defender. If you choose to do so at that time, please do so. Once again, because you are being charged with general session charges, you will have a right to what we call a preliminary hearing. This is what the preliminary hearing form looks like. What a preliminary hearing is, Mr. Plowden, is that you will go before another judge. And the law enforcement officer that took the charges out against you will be there to present the evidence on the behalf of the state. Your attorney will be there to present your evidence. Once that judge has heard all of the evidence, he or she will determine whether or not these charges will go to another court proceeding or whether or not they're dismissed altogether. So if you wish to exercise this right, what you will do is fill out this information here. You can give it back to me. I'll be more than happy to extradite it on your behalf. If you choose not to give it back to me, you would have to mail it to the address provided within 10 days. If you don't do so within 10 days, you will lose that right. For the charges that are being presented to you today, for any reason they are dismissed, discharged, no pros, meaning not prosecuted, or you're found not guilty, they can and they will be expunged from off of your record. Mr. Plowden, when and if you do leave this facility, you will have a court date and time that will demand your appearance. There is absolutely no exception. It is very important that you are in court the day and time that you're supposed to be there. Do understand, if you're not there, you will be tried in your absence and issued a bench warrant for your arrest. For your magistrate level charges, if you do not show up at court, you can be fined up to $1,000, incarcerated up to a year, and or both. For your general session charges, if you do not show up at court, you can be fined up to $5,000, incarcerated up to 5 years, and or both. So it's very important that you're in court the day and time that you're supposed to be there. Also, as long as your case is pending, if you happen to have a change of address, you need to update that address at all times and keep it current, please. Okay, Mr. Plowden, if I can please get you to state your full name and date of birth for the record, sir.
Richard Shane Plowden, 12/13/1974.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Plowden. Mr. Plowden, you're being charged with driving under suspension, first offense. Cash and surety bond is $650. You're also being charged with operating an uninsured vehicle. Cash and surety bond is $440. And your final two charges is use of a vehicle with the wrong license plate and operating a vehicle without registration for that vehicle. Both of those charges carry a cash and surety bond of $230 apiece. Your final charges are 4 counts of felony driving under the influence resulting in death. Let the record show that the victims in this case are Mr. and Mrs. William and Marsha Norman and Mr. and Mrs. Michael and Nancy Cook. We have the family here, and we actually have 2 representatives that will be speaking on the behalf of both of these families. We will be starting with the family of Mr. and Mrs. William Marsha Norman. And if I can please have Mr. William Norman, which is the son, to please take a stand under that microphone. There's a microphone right in that pane. Mr. Norman, if you can speak very clearly to the court. Once you're finished speaking to the court, Mr. Norman, you, Mr. Plowden, you can respond to what Mr. Norman has stated. You don't have to respond. That is your choice. And then if you choose or choose not to respond, Mr. Norman, I will come back to you with your last say, sir. And then once you're finished, I would have the family representative from Mr. and Mrs. Michael Nancy Cook to speak, and that will be Mr. Robert Cook, who is also the son of this family. Let me start with offering my condolences, and Mr. Norman, you have the floor to speak, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. So yesterday, I lost the two people that meant the most to me growing up. And I lost them because of the decision you made. You took from us a hero, and my mother. You took away his grandparents. You know, I'll never get that phone call again. And it's when the Braves are going to play tonight, what channel? I'll never hear that again. That might sound funny, but looking back, I take that every day. Christmas time, there won't be the grandparents there. They were the rock of the family. They were glue. They held us together. And you took that away from us. We can't get that back. No more phone calls asking if my day was. You know, you still get to wake up every morning. You still get to breathe the air. You know, I beg your honor that you know, you strongly consider that no bail be set. And, you know, I'm willing to let justice do its thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Norman. Mr. Plowden, do you have anything to say in response to that? If you do not, we'll move on.
No.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Robert Cook, I offer my condolences to you, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Because of our faith, I am to forgive. And I'm sorry the decision that I make right now is I can't do that. The decisions that you make have consequences. You took them by the Nancy Cook. Our father, Mike Cook. We need to hear their names. Bill and Marsha Norman. family bills needs to be to the max. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. Is there anything you would like to say in response, Mr. Plowden?
To both families, I'm deeply apologetic. I'm sorry. I do know my actions have consequences and they will be rendered. I'm sorry. You have no idea.
Thank you, Mr. Plowden. Sergeant Elrod, does the state have any recommendations, sir?
Of course, Your Honor, felony driving under the influence of death is the most egregious violation that we handle on a day-to-day basis, unfortunately. It is the state's stance that we request no bail be issued on any of the charges. We also request that a scram device be issued to Mr. Plowden if and when he is ever granted bail. And we also do consider Mr. Plowden a flight risk from issues we have dealt with in the last 24 hours. And that's also why we strongly request that you deny all bail in this case.
Thank you so very much, sir. All right, with that being said, the court is going to have to allow the bond for the magistrate level charges to stand as is, and that is the cash and security bond on those totaling in the amount of $1,550. So I will be denying that request for those magistrate level charges. However, for the charges in the 4 counts of felony driving under the influence resulting in death, I am going to honor the request of the family and honor the request of the state to deny bond on all of those 4 felony driving under the influence resulting in death charges. Is there anything you would like to say at this time, Mr. Plowden?
No, ma'am.
Thank you so very much. This concludes the bond arraignment.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Plowden, if I can get you to take a step over to that opening there. There is some paperwork that we will need for you to initial and sign, and you will receive the copies of this paperwork that you will be initialing and signing, and it's basically everything that the court has discussed with you today. On court is adjourned. Thank you.
You want to sign your preliminary handpaper now?
Yeah.
Sign your name and write your address. Initials 2, 4, and 5. And 5. Sign right there for me. Initials 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4 and 5. Sign right there for me. And sign right there for me. All right, those are your copies. Here you go.